Ring Out Podcast. What it do, y'all? I go by the name of Papo Jr. Today I'm gonna react to Bobby Heenan. Hated working with these wrestlers, man. Bobby Heenan, man. Forever be part of wrestling history. One of the great managers of all time, if not the best, greatest manager of all time. It could be a debate. I did not grow up with Bobby Heenan. I grew up with Paul Heyman. It could be a debate between the two. A lot of people got Paul Heyman as number one. There's also other people that got Bobby the Brain Heenan as number one. You know, who knows? He did the Heenan family. Let me see. Let me try. Andre the Giant, Ravishing Rick Rude, and Mr. Perfect. I don't know who else he had. Managed those guys. He was commentary for WCW Nitro. I heard he hated working there as well. What else? Fucking A. The great, a lot of people got Gorilla Monsoon and Heenan as their favorite commentators over JR and Jerry the King Lawler. Me, I grew up with JR and Jerry the King Lawler, Michael Cole, and Paul Heyman at the time, Taz, all that. But JR and Jerry the King Lawler, I grew up with them, man, since my childhood. And I've heard a few of their calls, man, Bobby and Gorilla Monsoon from back in the day, man, and I see why, bro. They sound amazing together. But this intro has been long enough, man. Let's check this out. Who the fuck did he hated working back then? Let's get it.
Bobby the Brain Heenan was one of the greatest
Videos by Stunning. I think he'll... There you go. Stunned by Wrestling. My bad, y'all.
minds in wrestling, but that doesn't mean he liked everyone he worked with. Behind the scenes, Heenan had serious problems with certain people.
I saw a clip. No, I'm lying. It wasn't a clip. It was an episode. It was Nitro. Don't know if it was Nitro or a pay-per-view, but it was what's his name? Brian Pillman. I think this was like close to when he arrived at ECW. And Pillman was running from somebody. He was hiding behind. He hid behind Bobby when he was a commentator. I think this was a pay-per-view. And Bobby was pissed the fuck off. He's like, get the fuck off me. He dropped an F-bomb too. Like, get the fuck off me. What the fuck are you doing? You know? And Pillman was just improvising, but Heenan didn't like that shit. He didn't like that at all. So that was crazy to watch. I believe this was when Pillman dropped the to Sullivan, call him the Booker Man. Either it was that same night or maybe it happened after. Don't remember. But yeah.
Some were reckless, some were arrogant, and others were just downright miserable to be around. Take Ole Anderson, for example. Heenan worked under a lot of promoters during his career, but he absolutely despised Anderson. He was a tough, old-school wrestler and one of the most notoriously miserable men in the business. He was stubborn, abrasive, and hard to...
Oh, look where The Rock got his name from.
please. His attitude rubbed plenty of people the wrong way, and Heenan was no exception. Before Heenan became a star in the WWF, he spent time as a manager in Georgia Championship Wrestling, where Anderson was in charge. In 1979, Anderson convinced Heenan to leave the AWA, where he had been working, and move his family to Atlanta for a spot in Georgia Championship Wrestling. Heenan took the deal, assuming that it was a long-term proposition, but Anderson ended up firing him after less than a year. Bobby had uprooted his entire life based on what turned out to be an empty promise. He was furious and felt completely misled, but Anderson denied having ever guaranteed him anything, and Bobby had no other choice but to pack everything back up, including his family, and go back to the AWA. To say that he
Damn.
took it personally would be an understatement, and he never forgave Anderson for lying to his face. In interviews later in his life, he didn't hold back, calling Anderson a horrible, miserable man who had no respect for anyone. Anderson was known for his tough personality, but Bobby saw nothing redeeming about him whatsoever. Unlike other people that Heenan clashed with, there was no mutual respect here, and he never had a single nice thing to say about him. The Red Rooster might be one of the worst gimmicks in WWE history, and Bobby knew that from day one. Terry Taylor, the man behind the gimmick, had allegedly rubbed people the wrong way backstage in the WWF, with rumours suggesting he had a habit of sucking up to management and going behind the other boys' backs. And it's been speculated.
You can't do that, man. You can't fucking do that to your fellow workers. But come on, those are the people that you travel with, bro, up and down the road and shit. You're gonna go behind your back, behind their back, just to benefit yourself. Kiss up to management. I don't like a kiss ass, bro. I really don't. I can't stand kiss asses, bro. Especially to the fucking higher ups. Like on some dead ass shit. It shows me you're not a real one, bro. You only care about you only out for yourself.
That Vince McMahon gave him the
Hogan.
humiliating Red Rooster gimmick as a punishment. Whatever the reason, Taylor was soon strutting around the ring with a bright red mohawk.
Now you're known as a fucking cock.
Flapping his arms and making chicken noises. Of
That's
course,
embarrassing.
Heenan thought the gimmick was a complete joke and not a very good one. But worse than that.
But damn, I won't take it that far. Like, nigga, you a fucking rooster for the rest of your fucking career. Now you're only known for that. Damn.
He had to be involved himself. Heenan was expected to help him get over, but he knew there was no salvaging this disaster. But Heenan reportedly wasn't keen on him personally either. Heenan flat out said that he didn't like him and he certainly wasn't a fan, and he accused Terry Taylor of lying to him when they were both working in WCW. When he was interviewed about this, Bobby wouldn't go into any more detail, but it seemed like he didn't want to have to revisit that moment in his career. Unlike most bad gimmicks, the Red Rooster wasn't just a disaster for Terry Taylor, it was a headache for Heenan too. Bobby worked with plenty of difficult wrestlers, but none frustrated him more than the Ultimate Warrior. Heenan had zero respect for Warrior as a performer, believing that he was just a bodybuilder in face paint and a self-obsessed idiot who didn't belong in the wrestling business. Bobby was a man who respected guys with genuine talent, but he thought that Warrior got handed success just because of the way he looked. He said that he didn't know how to wrestle and he refused to learn, and worst of all, he didn't care about the safety of the people he worked with. And by all accounts, the feeling was mutual, because Jim Hellwig had no time for Bobby either. He was very sensitive to being criticised, and Bobby sometimes had a big mouth.
You're sensitive to be criticized, but you're in a fucking sport where you have to have talent and know how to work, but yeah, you didn't give a shit. But yet also the fucking higher ups looked at you and pushed you because of how you look. I've seen his matches. This dude is shit, bro. This dude is shit. But the people love him because he's energetic. He's that. I never understood that shit. I'm not saying I grew up watching him. I didn't. But as an adult and I look back at it, I'm like, bro, I don't get the hype for this guy. He just runs around fucking going like this to the ropes. Warrior. I don't look at him as the Mount Rushmore. I don't look at him. I don't give a fuck how people feel. I don't look at him like that. There's some out there like Ultimate War was the best thing out there. To me, I was like, what the fuck? If I grew up in that era, I probably would not like Warrior either. So me and Bobby, we're on the same,
But Warrior's reckless attitude in the ring became a real problem.
and that you didn't give a shit about your coworker, the person that you working with in the ring, bro. Say fuck him. I don't give a shit. He's hurt. Damn, bro. That shows me the type of person that you are.
For Heenan at WrestleMania 5 when he was managing Rick Rude. It was Rude versus Warrior, and Heenan had a bad neck going into the match. It was a common sight to see Bobby getting involved physically in matches as a way to maximise heat, but on this night he didn't want to be touched. So before the match, he told Warrior not to touch him because he didn't want to make the injury any worse, but Warrior decided to ignore him completely. Suffice to say, Bobby came backstage with a worse neck than he went in with, and he was seriously pissed off about it. When he confronted Warrior, he just brushed it off, showing zero remorse for what he'd done. It only reinforced what Heenan already thought.
You a bitch nigga, bro. You a bitch nigga. I don't give a fuck, bro. You a bitch, bro. Fuck Warrior. You a bitch, bro. I mean, RIP, but come on, bro. Come on, bro. That's an old. The dude is older than you at that time. And he's not a fucking wrestler. Yeah, you still want to go ahead and injure him, man. He told you, do not fucking touch me, bro. You still fucking touch me and you hurt me, bro. And you don't give a shit. You can fuck off, bro. You a bitch, bro. I don't respect that at all.
That Warrior was reckless, careless, and had no idea how to protect the people he was working with. And the worst of it came years later when Bobby was battling throat cancer. While most of the wrestling world showed him support during this time, Warrior made some reprehensible comments saying that Heenan's illness was karmic retribution. Not even.
I'll read that. As for you, Bobby Heenan, it's just too difficult to keep a straight face talking about the pure two-faced bag of shit you are and have always been. What? With you also actually wearing one as a piece of body jewelry. You are dying, deceased on the inside, and no more time is left to get back any of the integrity that matters the most on death's bed. Imagine what will be like lying there talking in your last breaths, knowing you hoard yourself out your whole life and had to in your final years be faced with emptying your own personal shit bag, affirming to you the true value of what you achieved in your life. Not even Vince could come up with a better finish than this. Karma is just a beautiful thing to behold. I don't know what Bobby has done to other people. I'm just going by what I'm seeing here on the video. But at the same time, I'd rather you be the bigger person, bro. You be the bigger person. You know? Instead, you went out your way and fucking hurt the guy. And then dude is on his deathbed and you still talking more down to him. I don't know what he did. I don't know what Bobby did to other people. There's probably a video out there. Maybe I should go check it out to see what Bobby has done. All the shady shit, fucked up shit that he has done to others. I don't know. But I believe in being the bigger person. All right? If you're not that type of guy, Ultimate Warrior, I don't know what to tell you. I don't respect that at all.
Saying that Heenan's illness was karmic retribution. Not even Vince could come up with a better finish than this. Karma is just a beautiful thing to behold. Aside from being the best manager in the business, Bobby was also a fantastic colour commentator. He worked with plenty of commentary partners throughout his career, but Tony Schiavone was one that he never liked. Unlike his chemistry with Gorilla Monsoon
I do not like Tony Schiavone on commentary. Now and then. I do not like it at all. Him on commentary, fuck off, man.
Even Vince McMahon, he found Tony difficult to click with, and there were moments where that frustration boiled over on live TV. In 1999, during the uncensored pay-per-view, while Tony was addressing the audience, he noticed Bobby looking away and he snapped at him to face the camera. It was an awkward moment and a glimpse into the real tension between the two men that had been building up for years. Bobby refused to comply and instead turned his back to the camera, making...
That's what I don't like about Tony. Like, why would you call him out like that in front of in front of TV, bro? Just let him fucking do your thing. You worry about yourself. Worry about your fucking job. Instead of worry about what the fuck he's doing. Now, y'all making it worse. Like, let him do what the fuck he's gonna do. You know, if you know if you know what kind of person he is, just let him be. Do your shit. Now look what the fuck Bobby's doing.
Making it clear that he wasn't going to be bossed around. However, the biggest issue in their relationship came in 1999 when Gorilla Monsoon...
Because I could tell Shivani's also an executive ass kisser too, bro.
...soon passed away. Heenan wanted to pay tribute to his friend, but Tony allegedly shut the idea down because Monsoon had never worked for WCW. In the end, Bobby was allowed to say a quick tribute on air, but he was furious over how it was handled. And then came the final betrayal, when WCW fired Bobby in 2000.
Y'all niggas is petty, bro.
Tony...
Y'all niggas is fucking petty, bro. Seriously. It's like the same thing with the Hall of Fame. Like Vince never put they not put a few people on the Hall of Fame, and then once they, you know, they're not here with us anymore, or he puts them in the Hall of Fame. I'm like, why did you wait for somebody to pass away so you could put them in the Hall of Fame? Like, seriously. So it's just like, come on, bro. Y'all niggas is petty, bro.
He was told by
wrestling business is a shady fucking business, man.
Management not to call him, so he didn't bother. And Bobby saw that as a cowardly move, and it was the last straw. In a radio interview after he'd been fired, he publicly trashed Tony on air, calling him a pig and mocking his announcing abilities. Heenan worked with plenty of unpredictable wrestlers during his career, but nothing prepared him for Brian Pillman. While Bobby usually had great control over...
I hope they show what the fuck I was talking about in the beginning of the video.
...his on-air persona, that changed in 1996 during a Clash of the Champions show. Pillman was fully immersed in his crazed, loose cannon persona at the time, and he stormed over to the commentary desk and grabbed Heenan by the neck.
There you go.
What Pillman didn't know, or at least didn't think about, was that Heenan still had that serious neck problem from years before. Instinctively, Heenan panicked and shouted an expletive live on air before storming off commentary.
There you go. Backstage, right there. That's exactly what I was talking about.
Immediately when he realised what he'd done, and Bobby didn't hold a grudge about that. Okay. But in that moment, you just know that he wasn't a fan of Brian Pillman's work whatsoever. When Bobby first jumped to WCW in 1994, it should have been an easy transition for him. Ted Turner was throwing millions of dollars at the company, and big-name superstars were signing up left and right. WCW was finally starting to...
Wonder what company reminds me of. Instead of Ted Turner, somebody else is just throwing millions and millions at everybody just to be, yeah, come join my ship.
Look like real competition to the WWF. But behind the scenes, Heenan quickly realised that it wasn't being run like a professional company at all, and he blamed Eric Bischoff for all of the chaos. He had zero respect for Bischoff's leadership. To him, Eric was just a guy with Ted Turner's money who got lucky with the NWO angle. Unlike Vince McMahon, who put his own fortune on the line to build the WWF, Bischoff had the luxury of burning someone else's cash. Bobby thought that he didn't have a wrestling mind, he wasn't a promoter, He was just a corporate guy who fell into the right job at the right time. And that lack of real leadership was obvious every week on WCW television. Heenan became incredibly frustrated because he would commentate on shows and never receive any feedback from Bischoff as to what kind of job he was doing. Bobby had one of the greatest minds in the business, and being nicknamed the
This is screaming all elite wrestling right here, bro. Boy, this is all elite wrestling before all elite wrestling, bro. That's what I'm feeling right now, man. Oh my gosh.
brain wasn't just a gimmick, it played on his actual intelligence. He knew wrestling inside out, so he tried pitching some of his own ideas to Bischoff backstage. But Bischoff dismissed him immediately, telling him to keep his ideas to himself because he was just an announcer and not a writer.
Wow.
For Bobby, this was a
Wow. You gonna shut down somebody that has been in the fucking game way longer than you. That's just fucking nuts, bro. The fucking egotistical cocksucker that you are, Bischoff, at that time. At that time. He probably regrets it. I don't know. Now, he probably regrets it now. I don't know. I don't go out looking for Bischoff to see what he's thinking about right now. If y'all know, let me know in the comments. But for somebody that has been in the fucking game way before that you have, and you're going to shut him down. This is all elite wrestling before all elite wrestling, bro. I'm telling you. Is that TNT? You sip on that that Warner Brothers water, it turns you into this shit. This mismanaged, unorganized, have a fucking bloated roster, and don't know how to fucking book with great talent.
breaking point, and he just stopped caring about his work. He still did his job and called the shows, but he knew that
R.I.P. Dusty, man.
Bischoff didn't value his experience, and there was no point in doing any more than just the bare minimum. To Bobby, WCW's success in the mid-90s was pure luck, and Eric Bischoff was certainly no Vince McMahon. No doubt that Bobby made millions of dollars from WCW, and yet it was the one place that killed his love for professional wrestling.
Man, good video, man. Good video. Yeah, man, you cannot shut down somebody like that, bro. Not hear him out, because they know what the fuck they talking about. But this is crazy. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate it. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, man. Hit the subscribe. Helps me out a ton. Trying to build a nice family here, man. Don't be afraid to talk. Don't be afraid to comment. Know that good stuff. Fridays, watch along, SmackDown. I'm here tonight. Every PLE, I'm here, watch along. Let's have a good vibe. Let's have a good family. Talk about wrestling. And this was good to know. This was great to know. It's good to know your history. If you're a wrestling fan, know your history. All right? Wrestling has been going on since the fucking 1800s, late 1800s. Know that. But it's good to know, bro, because there's a lot of people that are new to wrestling. They've been watching for like maybe 5-10 years, and they think they know what the fuck they're talking about until they look stupid when somebody else school them. School yourself into something that you're into, any sport, any genre of music and stuff like that. Wrestling, school yourself. And yeah, man. Made it this far. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, man. I appreciate y'all. And until next time.
Goodbye, mwah, and good night, bang.
Love.